Hello and welcome to Ross Jackson Scouting. So we're going to look at Luis Guilherme, who has just joined West Ham United, and we're going to see the qualities he has, whether these qualities will help him in the Premier League, and how that will help him in West Ham United's team. So he's an inverted winger. He can drift and operate centrally, though, which was where the Rivaldo comparisons are coming from. But I don't think you can compare the two players. He's a standout player, or was a standout player in Palmeiras' under 17 category, and that helped to fast track him into the first team. He did play some minutes in some games for the under 20s, but mostly he was fast tracked straight into the first team and then given minutes there where he could impress. And he's gained more and more game time as the time has gone on since last season. And this season, he's featured a lot more heavily, but mostly from a substitute role where the space opens up. So we'll talk about that in a moment. And now he's joined West Ham United. So let's have a look at his main qualities and areas for improvement. So after his exploits in the under 17 team, he was fast tracked to the first team and made brief appearances where he was able to showcase his skills, his talent, and his mercurial pace that afforded him more time, and this season he's become a regular in the first team. You can see that his blistering pace, his power and acceleration in short spaces, and his ability to go past 2 or 3 players in succession. Here you'll see him dribbling, carrying the ball up the pitch. He's able to do that when space opens up, and he's very good at drawing fouls. So Luis Guilherme has a lot of talents, a lot of skills that will help him settle into the Premier League, but he also has some weaknesses as well that would need improvement. So we're going to take a look at those through this video. So one of Luis Guilherme's real strengths is his speed on and off the ball, but he's able to power into space, attack the space with underlaps and overlaps to support play. Here you'll see him in a static position, but he's able to quickly evade pressure using explosive acceleration in short spaces and take men on, going around the outside with raw power. Also, because of his acceleration, he's able to quickly shift the ball onto his left foot inside. He typically makes powerful runs on the outside and then cuts in, where he uses his explosive power to just step in and create an opening for a shot or for a cross for his team. Another strength is he's able to complete long distance runs. So sometimes he can start far back in his own half and carry the ball long distances, which will help West Ham in counter-attacks and transitions. However, he will need to work on being able to stand his ground in certain situations, as in some instances he goes down a bit easily. Using his blistering pace and ability to control the ball over long distances, he's able to become a real threat in the final third when things open up. He can glide past players on the outside as well, where he can get crosses in. He possesses excellent balance, especially when shifting onto his left foot, which allows him to twist and turn and shift the ball quickly. Here he's able to do it on the right hand side too and go past the defender, so he can go in multiple directions, face up on his left, or then drag the ball back to get it onto his right. He's also capable of spinning away from opponents too in tight spaces and getting the cross in. Not only is he able to dribble in long distances, he's excelling at facing up defenders and working the ball to either side of them so that he can get a cross or a shot in. Here he goes onto the left and whips across it. And whilst there's room for improvement, he is able to shift the ball and his feet quickly. And whilst he's capable of whipping a cross in, it does need improvement in terms of power and accuracy. His technique tends to be better when he's not got as much time to think. However, when he does have time to think, he tends to float crosses in. He's a goal threat because he's able to directly drive at the defence and cause all sorts of problems with his close control and dribbling. In this instance, he continues his run into the space, attacks the space, and is able to get a cross in. So he picks up the ball in these situations to cause panic. He's able to work himself into shooting opportunities. However, most of his shots are either blocked or wayward on a lot of occasions. This is because he takes a shot too early or he hasn't really worked the space to get the shot in. However, his technique is there, it requires more consistency. As you can see here, he just rushes the shot. However, he did come on late in a Copa Libertadores game and scored this screamer from long distance, curling it into the opposite corner. His close range finishing needs a lot of work, as he's not registered a goal yet from close distance and often misses in these kind of situations, as you can see. Predominantly operating on the right hand side as an inverted winger, Luis Guilherme likes to attack the space whenever it becomes available. However, he tends to drift inside as well and find space to make underlaps as he moves across. But he's very adept at floating across the front three and timing his movement in behind the defence. When he does drift inside, Luis Guilherme is capable of pulling off some cute passes over the top into teammates and also defence splitting passes for teammates running through. Despite this, there are a lot of occasions where Luis Guilherme selects the wrong pass or the wrong kind of cross to make. For example, he doesn't quite pick out the man, instead he just plays it in early as fast as he can. Also, his pass selection sometimes is questionable. He plays the ball not at the right foot of his teammate. And you can see here again, he's just early to cross it. And there's times where he could control the ball instead of trying to play it on first time as well. So something that he needs to improve on is his execution. Certainly in these situations here, a lot of wayward crosses and wild passes at times. And even though he does have the ability to drive the ball forward past numerous players, his execution is not quite there yet. And there's a number of occasions where he just fails to make the right kind of pass, the weight of pass, and the timing of the pass as well, which probably explains why he's not got many assists and goals. So with a bit more refinement, his execution may improve, but he will need to work on it. Not the most nimble and agile of players means that when he's in these tighter spaces here, he lacks the real close control and ability to maneuver himself in 360 directions. He's much more effective at coming inside, but he's unable to really kind of find his way out of a press when 2 or 3 players are on him. Also, he needs to work on his weaker foot. His right foot lacks a lot of power and accuracy. So just to summarise then, these are his strengths. He carries the ball long distances rapidly and he's able to dribble on the inside and the outside, which makes him very unpredictable and hard to decide which way to follow him and which way to shut him off. I do think he'll have it harder in the Premier League, though. I do think that defenders won't give him the space to manoeuvre like he does do, but we'll see how he gets on with that. And his movement is quite decent. He's very capable of attacking the space and he has a good sense of where to move into, such as in between defenders, underlaps as well. And he can power down the lines, which helps to create crossing situations with his powerful acceleration. But areas for improvement, of course, are the decision making. Sometimes he shoots when there's just too many bodies in the way. Sometimes he just doesn't work the angle well enough and he's just not on to shoot. Of course, his finishing needs work as well. No goals from close distance, just the one long-range goal this season. That needs a lot of work if he's going to be a success. Maybe that will pick up over time. Maybe he just needs the calmness and the confidence, but he's quite erratic in front of goal. Refine his technique, especially when receiving the ball statically. So when the ball comes into him, he normally needs a touch to settle it first and then move out of the pressure. Whereas he needs to start to be able to receive it on the half turn in the Premier League, where he will face more intensity and less time on the ball. Also, he kind of needs to know where he's going first. If there's space in front of him, he'll move there. He needs to develop his 360 vision to know which ways to go. Maybe that won't be a difficulty for him in the Premier League because maybe they'll use him differently. Crossing, he needs to work on his selection. So a lot of crosses that he makes tend to lack power, or they're just hit as quickly as possible without any real target, and he's aiming for a particular area, which is not a problem, but you do need to vary the crosses to have more success and more assists. As I said before, only 1 assist from a cross this season and last season, so he needs to work on that. And the passing is the final part. Where he's denied time, he needs to be better at his passing and movement in these areas. For example, he can pass the ball into players on the wrong foot who are immediately under pressure and they lose the ball. He needs to understand which is the correct foot to use, which is the correct pass to use. But all of these things may need just a bit of work. So that's Luis Guilherme. What do you think? Do you believe that this is a player that can be a success in the Premier League? Is he the next best thing to arrive from Brazil? And what are the things that are going to hold him back? Will he fit into West Ham United's team and be a success there as well? Please let me know in the comments below and I will respond to them. And if you like this video, please subscribe and I hope to see you soon. Bye.